Israel's annexation plan has derailed Oslo Accord. And it says that the Palestine state is absolved of all the deals with Israel and US. So in this aspect, with respect to prelims and mains, we'll try to analyze what is this Israel-Palestine issue and what has United States got to do with this Israel-Palestine issue. How is it interfering in this Israel-Palestine issue? So this is very important with respect to world history, GS1 paper, and also prelims. So Israel-Palestine issue is a very important issue with respect to world history. So we'll try to analyze the history of this problem and the present consequences of that problem. So to start with, Israel-Palestine issue, to broadly say, is a conflict between two sects. The first one is Jews, Jews. This is a sect of population. And the other sect or the section is Arabs. So Israel-Palestine issue is an issue between Jews and Arabs. So Jews belong to the Israel country and Arabs belong to the Palestine country. And what are they fighting for? To broadly say, they are fighting for two main reasons. The first one is annexation of Palestinian territories by Israel. It means Israel is annexing or occupying the Palestinian territories. And the second important thing is the city of Jerusalem. Israel tries to occupy Jerusalem and make its capital city. Palestine, on the other hand, says that Jerusalem city belongs to Palestine. So these are the two important issues for which Israel and Palestine are fighting. To simply say, annexation of Palestinian territories and Jerusalem city. Now we'll see actually why did this problem has ended up, right? So we'll try to see this issue with respect to world history of GS1. To start with, if we want to know how this issue has started, we have to go to World War I. World War I. So what happened in World War I? As we know, World War I was between Allied powers and Central powers. There were few countries who made a group called Allied powers, and there were few countries who made a group called Central powers. And these two groups had a war. That was World War I. And at the end of the war, Central powers lost. Allied powers won after the World War I. Right? So British, a major country, was a part of Allied powers. The Allied countries, British, France, these are a part of Allied powers. And Ottoman Empire, there was an empire called Ottoman Empire, which was a part of Central powers. Right? So Central powers lost. And when Central powers lost, this Britain, which is part of Allied powers, because it won the war, has occupied this Ottoman Empire. It has occupied this Ottoman Empire. Not only the British, all the Allied powers which have won the war have occupied this Ottoman Empire. So after the war, as Ottoman Empire has lost, these Allied powers have occupied it, and now they wanted to share this Ottoman Empire. There were different countries in Allied powers. UK was one, France was one. So they all want to distribute this Ottoman Empire among themselves, right? For that, they made an agreement. This agreement name is Sykes-Picot Agreement, right? Through this agreement, basically the Allied powers distributed this Ottoman Empire. And as a part of this agreement, Palestine came under the control of British. Palestine came under the control of British. Till then, Palestine was a part of Ottoman Empire, and majorly Arabs was the population which were living in this Palestine. Now, as this came under the control of British after World War I, now British has changed the scenario. How did it change it? Till then, Arabs were peacefully living in Palestine. But then, British brought a declaration called Balfour Declaration. What does this Balfour Declaration say? Through this Balfour Declaration, British promises Jews, 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 that it will build a home for Jews in Palestine. right? Through this Balfour Declaration, British says that it will build a new home. It gives the assurance for these Jews that it will build a new home for Jews in Palestine. Now, this has created the major issue. After this, as British has promised, the Jews slowly come and migrate in this Palestine, to this Palestine country, because there was Balfour Declaration. And during the World War II, during the period of 1939 to 45, during that period, as we know, we have Hitler there, who is who actually started this genocide process, right? If you go through world history, there was a person called Hitler, who is the prime behind this Nazism ideology, and as a part of that ideology, he has started this genocide of this Jewish population. So Jews had no other area to live except for Palestine. So during World War II, because of this Balfour Declaration, more and more Jewish population has come and settled down in Palestine. So in this way, once Arabs dominated the Palestine, that slowly converted into this Jewish population dominating this Palestine. In this way, Jews have entered and have captured the power in Palestine, right? Now this has created a major problem between Jews and Arabs, because both were living in Palestine now. Previously, it was only under the control of Arabs. And because of this, Israel-Palestine conflict has started, right? So this is the story. How did the conflict come? How did the Jews end up in Palestine? Now, after this, after the Second World War was over, around in the year of 1947, we had a body called United Nations. We even have that body now also. So this United Nations body has decided through voting process. That means all the countries which are part of this United Nations, all of them have agreed and voted that the Palestine has to be divided into two territories, one for the Jews and the other for these Palestinians, the Arabs, right? So such a declaration was taken in 1947 here. So because of this, as the countries have voted for a separate territory for Israel, in the year 1948, these Jews have made their independent state called Israel. So this is how Israel came into existence. This Israel was formed by Jews in the year 1948. But then the Palestinians did not agree to this agreement. They strongly rejected and they were not at all willing to recognize this Israel, right? And at that time, at that point of time in 1947, Palestine was not the only Arab country. There were many other Arab countries such as Egypt, Jordan, Iraq, Syria. All of these were Arab countries: Egypt, Jordan, Iraq, and Syria, right? So these Arab countries, they were in support of the Palestinians. They don't want the territory to be given to the Israeli people, right? So they stood in support for these Palestinians and declared a war against the Israelis. Now then a war has happened between Israel on one side and all the Arab countries, the Syria, Iraq, Egypt, Jordan, and Palestinians on one side. So what happened at the end? It was Israel who won the war. It was Israel who won the war, and Israel further went and captured many territories of Palestine also. And ultimately, Palestinians became refugees in their very own state. And Palestine's control was reduced to only two places, which we can see even till date in the newspaper: West Bank and Gaza Strip. West Bank and Gaza Strip. These are the two places in Palestine which were left to Palestinians at that time after the war. Rest all territories were annexed by Israel as it has won the war. And Palestinians were made refugees in their very own country. Now this was something which was not acceptable by the Palestinians. To resist this, to oppose this, and to liberate Palestinians, an organization called Palestine Liberation Organization was formed in 1964. Palestine Liberation Organization was formed in 1964. They were not happy with the second citizenship status given to them in their very own country. So they formed this organization to make sure that they liberate Palestinians, and Palestinian country is only for Arabs. For this, they have started this organization. Its name is PLO, Palestine Liberation Organization. Even in today's newspaper, we can see that PLO is rejecting what Israel is doing. This today's article says that. So the same PLO was formed in the year 1964. Then after this, again, there happened a war between the Israel and the Arab countries. This war is very important and its name is Six-Day War. Six-Day War. This happened in the year 1967. The Six-Day War happened in the year 1967. This happened between Israel and the Arab countries again. And even in this war, Israel has won and the Arab countries have lost. So this time, Israel captured many territories of these Arab countries also. The Egypt, Jordan, Iraq, and Syria, the Arab countries which supported Palestine, Israel has captured even the territories of those Arab countries also. These places are, for example, if you take the country of Egypt, as it has lost in the war, Israel captured Sinai Peninsula from Egypt. So these places directly were prelims bits in the previous years. So these places we have to be very careful, and I request you and I suggest you to see these places in the map once after the class is over. To point out these in the map and see which sea borders, which are the countries bordering these places. Because these are some questions which we have already faced in prelims, and there are good chances because these articles are in the newspaper. So for Egypt, Sinai Peninsula was captured by Israel. And for Jordan, West Bank region was captured. For Jordan, Israel captured West Bank region from Jordan. And for Syria, Golan Heights region was captured. Israel captured Golan Heights from Syria. Right? So in this way, even from the Arab countries which supported Israel, which supported Palestine, as Israel has won the war over the Arab countries, it captured even those Arab countries' territories also. Right? And after that, again a war happened in 1973. It's known as Yom Kippur War. YOM-KIPPUR War. Yom Kippur War. 1973. And in this war, Arabs have won over Israel. In this war, Arabs have won over Israel. And now Israel was willing to make a peace treaty with these Arab countries. And Israel accepted to return back all the territories which it had captured from these Arab countries, which we have discussed. The Sinai Peninsula from Egypt, the West Bank from Jordan, the Golan Heights from Syria, all these territories which Israel has captured as a part of the peace treaty. Now Israel was willing to return back all these territories to the Arab countries again. But the Palestinians were left in this peace treaty. Israel was not willing to give back the territories to the Palestinians again. The problem of these Palestinians remained as it is. Peace treaty was between Israel and the Arab countries, but the Palestinians were still refugees in Israel. Because of this, again, a militant organization started within the Palestinian refugees. This is Hamas, H-A-M-A-S, Hamas. We can see this organization also in newspaper here and there. So Hamas, this is a militant organization started to fight for the cause of Palestinians. Hamas, right? Now again, to stop this fight, two big countries, which is United States and Russia, at that time, in the year 1993, US and Russia tried for a negotiation between Israel and Palestine, for a peace deal between Israel and the Palestine. And that deal is Oslo Accord. OSLO Accord. Oslo Accord. This is the Oslo Accord, which we can see in today's newspaper. Oslo Accord. So US and Russia tried for a peace deal and its name is Oslo Accord. Now, why is this Oslo Accord so important? Because it actually was a good balance between Israel and Palestine. It took into the interests of both Israel and Palestine and accordingly has given some provisions which were acceptable up to major extent by both the countries, which were not biased also. They were equally divided between Israel and Palestine. So some important outcomes of this Oslo Accord are, the first one is, this accord says Israel to give back West Bank and the Gaza Strip territories to the Palestine, to give Palestine its sovereignty over the West Bank and the Gaza Strip places. So these two places, the accord asks Israel to completely give these territories to Palestinians and not touch them again, right? So these two territories should be made sovereign territories of Palestinians. This is the first outcome. Second outcome is, it also says Palestinian country is recognized as a separate state and also they can form interim self-government. The accord also says that Palestinians can form their own government under this accord. So these are the two important outcomes. It asks to give back completely the territories to Palestine, and that is the West Bank and Gaza Strip. And also it says Palestinians can form their own government. So in some way it says that it recognizes Palestine as another country. So these are the two important outcomes. However, though Palestine was welcoming this and Palestine even supports this till now, it was Israel which was unable to accept these outcomes. And Israel till now doesn't recognize Palestine as a separate country. This is the major issue between Israel and Palestine. And now these organizations, the PLO and this self-government, which provision is there under Oslo Accord, a self-government called Palestine State Authority was formed, right? As the Oslo Accord says. Now this state authority and this PLO, which we have discussed, the Liberation Organization, now these two are saying that they won't abide by the rules of Oslo Accord because Israel is also not accepting these provisions. It is also violating the Oslo Accord. Now these Palestinians are saying why they need to follow this Oslo Accord, and they are trying to take back their commitments from the Oslo Accord. That is what today's article says. It says that PLO and Palestine state are absolved of all the deals with Israel and US. They're saying that they take back their commitment from this Oslo Accord. So in this context, Oslo Accord is important and we have to know what actually it is. We have discussed it, right? So this is centrally the Israel-Palestine issue. Now, what is US going to do in this issue? US is one such big country which does this peace negotiations, as we know. So as a part of that, in this year, around January 2020, US has brought a Middle East peace plan. A Middle East peace plan. This region is also known as Middle East, the region which borders this Jordan, Egypt, Syria, Israel and Palestine. This region is also known as Middle East. So US has brought a Middle East peace plan to solve this Israel-Palestine issue. And it says that, US country formally accepts Jerusalem as Israel's city and not as Palestinian city. Now this is one controversial provision why the Palestinians are not happy. So the policy of US in Israel-Palestine is completely biased towards Israel. That is the major issue here. That is what even the article says. That US formally accepts Jerusalem as a part of Israel and not as a part of Palestine. And the second important thing is, it also favors annexation of this West Bank by Israel. Now, West Bank is something which has to be given back to the Palestinians according to Oslo Accord. But US has brought a new peace plan which is favoring Israel towards annexation of the West Bank, the territory of Palestinian. So this is also something which is not acceptable to the Palestinians. So these are some of the controversial provisions in which US is favoring Israel, pro-Israeli policies, because of which Palestinians are now reverting back. They are reverting back from all the peace agreements which they have done before. So this is the reason. And that's why Oslo Accord also they are trying to take back their commitments. Now, what is India's stand on this? We have to know this with respect to mains and also for interview also. What is India's stand on Israel and Palestine? India always firmly believes two-state solution. Two-state solution. That means it supports and strongly believes that the final solution for this issue is making Israel and Palestine as two different countries, two different states, right? So this is the stand of India. And also, at the same time, India also tries to maintain a healthy relationship with Israel also. So it tries to balance it. This is known as tightrope walking. India tries to tightrope walk between Israel and Palestine. And this policy or this kind of policy followed by any country is known as strategic autonomy. Strategic autonomy. This will be dealt in detail in international affairs. This is known as strategic autonomy. Now, what is the strategic autonomy? See, for example, if we take the example of Israel-Palestine, on one side, we are supporting Palestinians' cause that we have to recognize it as a country. We are saying we support and strongly believe in two-state solution. On the other side, we actively engage with Israel in terms of defense, in terms of agriculture. We share best practices with Israel. In terms of technology also, we have good cooperation with Israel. On the other side, we say that Palestinians' cause has to be supported. So in this way, what are our interests with other countries? We'll take that into our prime interest and accordingly we'll formulate the policy. This is known as strategic autonomy. So India follows strategic autonomy in its foreign diplomatic relations. So this term is also very important. So India is trying to balance Israel and Palestine also, and strategic autonomy is its way forward. So this, in a nutshell, is Israeli-Palestine issue. So this is very useful and important with respect to world history. A direct question can come. What is this? Trace back the Israel-Palestine issue. Such kind of questions can come. And the places which I mentioned are very important with respect to prelims.